A man walking in downtown Portland snapped some photos of a crime in progress. He dialed 911 but was told police wouldn't be going after it.
Fox 12's Brenna Kelly spoke with that man who is not satisfied with the city's response.
Gary Granger took these photos last month. A group of teens he believes beating up someone that was homeless. When he called 911, the call taker told him he couldn't make a report on the victim's behalf. Now, the Bureau of Emergency Communications says they made a mistake. These are photos taken by Gary Granger. He was walking around downtown Portland the night of August 31st when he saw 4 teenage boys harassing and yelling at a man who he believed was homeless.
Then they ran after him and then 2 of them knocked him to the ground and started beating him.
Granger, who's the community safety director for Reed College, says he wishes he could have stepped in, but believed reporting it was the safest way to get help quickly.
There were 4 of them. There's one of me. I'm 60 years old now. I didn't know if they had weapons or not, and I very likely would have become the second victim.
So he called 911 and reported what he was seeing. With the suspect still in sight, he expected police to be right on their way.
You don't need to follow him anymore because the guy that was assaulted didn't even call us in, so...
Well, he couldn't call it in. He's a homeless guy. He doesn't have a phone.
I'll let officers know.
Granger, unsatisfied with the first call to dispatch, tried again.
Officers will contact you if the victim calls in. That's how this works, sir, okay?
The victim is not going to call in because the victim is a homeless person.
The call taker goes on to tell Granger he cannot make a report.
Like I said, if he decides to make a report, at that point we'll have a victim where we will have a crime to pursue, okay? They will contact you. You can't make a report on his behalf.
Yes, I can. Is there a supervisor working?
I can have you talk to my supervisor, or I can have an officer give you a phone call and explain it as well. Whatever you choose.
So I just witnessed 4 people attack someone in the street. They're marauding around the street right now. They're going to attack somebody else.
Portland Bureau of Emergency Communications officials say instead of prioritizing the call as an assault, it was prioritized as an information call. In that category, an officer doesn't necessarily respond.
It wasn't dismissed. It was handled. It's just some of the procedures that we followed weren't exactly in line with our Bureau policies. But it was a mistake. It was something that's been identified as an error through our investigation.
BOEC officials say the call taker has no history of this type of error. She was not formally disciplined, but instead counseled after an investigation based on the complaint Granger filed with the city. Several minutes after Granger's second 911 call, an officer did meet him downtown and took a look at his photos. At that point, the suspects and the man beaten were gone.
Basically, her response to the end was, well, I've got about an hour left on shift, and I'll keep my eyes open.
But Granger says that wasn't enough. Though BOEC officials have admitted the call taker's error, Granger is still concerned this isn't a one-time mistake.
I want to lean on it a little bit to make sure that we try and answer the question of why was this dispatcher so confident in a wrong answer.
I reached out to the Portland Police Bureau. Investigators say the officer searched the area that night and did not find the victim or those teenagers pictured in these photos. So far, none of them have been identified and a victim has not come forward, making this case tough to investigate. Reporting in studio, Brenna Kelly, Fox 12 Oregon.